Hey everybody, it's Gunplameli. Welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you guys have been doing fantastic. Today I have a pretty exciting review. Well, is it a review? Or showcase? Maybe showcase is a better word. Now, this is a prized collection within my collection, if that makes sense. Let me gather my thoughts for a second. This is why it would be good if I had a script for my videos, but I don't. Anyways, I have all of these right here on video. These are the amazing 21st century real type designs, which I absolutely am obsessed with. Unfortunately, I could not get my hands. I think it was on the MK2 was released as a real type and he sold out very quickly. It was the ones that you could like pre-order through USA, like the P Bandai specials. I could not get him. I will figure out a way to get him eventually, whether when I visit Japan, I will buy him there, who knows. But I will definitely add them to my collection. But these are the ones that I have gotten. Now, originally it was only this one, and this one, the RX-72, the Goof and the gun cannon. Those were the ones that were released originally. This one came next. He actually came out when I was in Japan, and funny story, let me tell you. I am so obsessed with these real type that when I was in Japan, I mixed up my days that this guy was going to be released. So I actually went because you could only buy this one at their special releases. So you could only buy it at whether it's pbandai.com or at the Gundam front or Gundam base. So I went all the way out to the Gundam base, which mind you is not really close to central Tokyo. I was staying kind of, where did I stay at? Probably like Tokyo Station. I was at around that area, or no, I was in Ginza. I was around the area, so it's like a good 30-minute train ride to get over to Odaiba, which is like a man-made island where the Gundam base is located. And I was like, I'm here to buy the new released 21st century, like what was this? Flight, it's like a special one. It's a Goof Fly Type, this guy right here. And they're like, oh, we don't have it yet, it's tomorrow. And I was like, well, I might as well just buy some other things and, you know, look around, and because I wasted my trip to go out there, and then I came back the very next day because I was worried he was gonna sell out. So yeah, make sure you guys read the details. I mean, obviously everything was in Japanese, so that didn't help, but yeah. Now there have actually been, like I said, 2 new ones released. A Zaku, which I have gotten, it's being shipped from Japan, and then there is that new one MK2, obviously, that I unfortunately could not get my hands on, but I will include pictures right here so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. So total there have been 6 kits total released as these like special 21st century. And I know how I always tell you guys that I don't keep boxes because I don't have the space. These are exception to that because I will not throw these boxes out because of the amazing box art. Now let me get here, if I can get this to be, yeah. So here is that flight type. Just, oh my god, just, it's so beautiful. It looks like art, and from what I understand, these are not artworks. This is actually like digitally processed to kind of look like the old school designs, but it's not. These are actual photography. So there's this one, and let me show you the size of the box. If you guys can get your hands on these, I highly recommend you do so because they're just awesome. And of course, you have the logo Gundam base right there. The gun cannon. You can hear some like sliding around because I keep like the spare parts in here. The side. Some poses. The other side. And then here you have like the 3 that came as, you know, when these were released. All right, next up here is the Goof. This, you know, it's really hard because I'm torn. Like, this is my favorite one, but then I look at the RX-78, I'm like, that one's so cool too. But I would say I think this is my favorite design. The coloring is just so pretty. I just like, I don't have the words to say how oh my god. You see what I'm talking about? How obsessed I am with these designs or coloring, if that makes sense. Yes, this is of course Granddaddy Gundam. Here is the front of the box, looking so majestic. The sides, again, same ones as the other ones. Other side of the box, and here's some pulses, and last side. So that's it for the box art. Now a little bit of background as to why these are kind of different from regular releases is that this was actually an attempt from Bandai way back in the day to kind of cater to like the more serious hobbyist of the Gundam franchise that kind of wanted to have the kits look more realistic back in the day. Now I know that kind of sounds weird, but that's basically what Bandai did back in the day, and so this is basically a rehash of those classic real type designs from like many years ago to kind of re-release them again, and of course make that sweet dinero, because there's gonna be people like me that will buy these bad boys up. So Bandai, please release more in the real type coloring, because I will literally buy every single release. You can just have all my money. I don't even care. Just make him, please, okay? So like I said, the first three, which were the Gun Cannon, RX-72, and the Goof, they were all released in 2016. And again, the artwork on the photography on the front of the box was actually trying to resemble the original artwork from the artist. So I wrote his name down because I don't want to botch his name, and it is Kunio Okawada's. So his famous oil paintings that almost all of us know that like the Gundam franchise will recognize it. So this is kind of play off his artwork. And I'm also not going to get too much into detail with the whole kind of history of these re-released, not re-released, but these kind of newer real type coloring kits. I'm gonna actually have a link down in the description below. There's an amazing video that Gunpla Network has done kind of going over the whole history and background of these 21st century kits. That's actually really amazing. So if you guys really like these kits and kind of want to know more history about them and why Bandai did this, I'll have the link down in the description, and make sure you check his video out because it's pretty awesome. Okay, so let me show, sorry, that was actually pretty long, right? I'm sorry, I just get too excited sometimes and I can't stop myself from talking. But let me stop here and show you guys the kits up close. All right, so these are the manuals that you get in the box that show you how to apply the decals, and here they have some information. So this is the Flight Goof or Goof Fly Type. Here's the Gun Cannon, the Goof, and lastly, the RX-78-2. All right, first up here we have the RX-78-2 real type. I think the colors look fantastic. This guy was actually the easiest one for me to put together because the water slides were a little bit easier to put on him due to the fact that he has not as many round areas compared to the Goof and Gun Cannon. So it was honestly a little bit easier, although I did mess up on some areas. Here you can see a water slide kind of snapped right there, but you see the shoulders here, those are all giant water slide decals, and same thing for the ones right here, those are big water slides. And on the forearms, he's also got some big ones here at the bottom of the legs, these green ones. But other than that, I mean, I think he looks fantastic. I really do enjoy this color variant. I kind of hope Bandai releases the other type, the other real type that's kind of famous. Now let me show you guys the next real type. All right, next up here is the Gun Cannon. Now this guy was kind of difficult to do these water slides. I didn't finish them all the way. It was slightly frustrating, but the one sad part that I noticed is when I took him out of the box, his little head antenna snapped. I don't know how. I guess maybe when I moved, he got jolted around the box too rough and snapped. So that's kind of pretty sad, but hey, it happens. You also obviously get a different setup here for the top as well with this kit. And this guy is honestly kind of the plainest looking out of the bunch. So if you had to pick one, I would say don't get this one, just because he doesn't look that much different from the regular Gun Cannon. All right, let's move on to the next one. Is the Goof, and this is honestly my favorite one. Now, some of these water slides were extremely challenging to put on him. This orange one gave me such a headache, and no matter what I did, I could just not get it on there properly. You can see there that it's cut and it got damaged. I didn't even bother with this side. It was just extremely difficult. I'm going to end up removing that and painting those kneecaps. Here, the top one, that's also a giant water slide, which was pretty difficult to kind of get on there perfectly. I think I did a pretty decent job. I mean, like I said, I tend to struggle with these water slides. This one on top was also kind of hard to navigate around and make sure it's all straight and not crooked. But I think he came out pretty good. Let me show you guys the back. And that is him. He is definitely my favorite one. I think the colors really pop on him. All right, let me show you guys the next one. All right, last up, we have here the Goof Fly Type, which I think he looks absolutely fantastic. This one is a newer release compared to the last three. And this is the one that I picked up in Japan. And I think from what I remember, the water slides on this guy weren't as difficult compared to the other ones. And let me show you guys at the back. This guy is really, really big. I mean, let me just put the Granddaddy Gundam so you guys can kind of see how big this guy is. This guy is extremely chunky, but I still think the design is very interesting to look at, and he definitely has some shelf presence. I honestly really enjoy this kind of like, it's a soft blue, baby blue combined with the green. I just think overall it looks really good. And I kind of like how, you know, the little bits here kind of break up the overall blue of the kit. So I would say this guy is definitely my second favorite amongst the ones that I have. Now, a quick side note is that I did top coat all of these because I wanted to remove that kind of, what's the word? It's like that kind of plasticky, I don't know. I just don't like that plastic. So I like to flat, these are all a matte top coat. And of course I covered up these clear parts because they will get damaged if you top coat. But yes, all of these are minus, I think this guy has not been. So you can do a comparison between top coat and non-top coat. So you see how this plastic is super shiny and it kind of just looks like less realistic, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I don't know if the camera picks it up, but in person there's a huge difference between these two models. So I would say if you're not gonna paint, at least use a top coat on your kit, and it's definitely gonna make it look a lot nicer than just having a snap build straight out the box. All right, so that basically concludes the overview of my prized possessions in my collection, aside from obviously the 112 and the 124th bottle I have over there. But these come second to those two big boys. But honestly, I don't regret getting any of these. They are expensive because again, these are limited printed kits and I don't know how often Bandai reprints them. So if you do want them, you're gonna pay a pretty penny for them. Now, is it worth it? To me, they are, because I'm obsessed with these kits. You could probably make your own, paintings. You can probably obviously paint them, the coloring of this to match. Anyone can do that. So if you don't have the money, then you could always paint the kits that kind of look like this. But that's just my opinion. So, I mean, you know what? If it's like $100 per high grade, I would never drop that kind of money. It's gonna be reasonable amount, then I will buy them. I'm definitely gonna be getting the MK2 eventually. I will add him to the collection of this. Bandai, if you're listening, please release more of these because I would love to have more of these in my collection. That would be great. And that's honestly it. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know if this is something that you guys would buy or would not buy, and I will see you around for the next video. Adios. And always a huge thank you to all the people on my Patreon for always supporting me, and a special thank you to all my ultimate fans who are BibloJack4, David Sakura, Jason Franklin for Gurgur, Jesse Uli, Madi, Michael Lyons, Michael Lawrence, Mad Villain, Veritable 20, and Wes Jones. Thank you guys so much for all the support.